Mental health is real, seek help, and the stigma. On the news this evening, reactions as Rivers Sole Administrator faces budget scrutiny. Ogoni youths protest alleged herdsmen killing. And on the foreign scene, Gaza doctors raise alarm over baby deaths amid blockade. I'm Sam Chinedu, and the news continues after the break. Welcome back. Former chairman of the Labour Party in Rivers State, Favour Reuben, is asking the House of Representatives ad hoc committee on Rivers State emergency to further scrutinize the state's 2025 budget. Reuben said this while speaking with correspondent Suebi Ruwari. He said the House of Representatives members should focus on investigating the issues and not use the opportunity to collect their share.
Let the world know they should investigate and give all the proper stand and cut that money into sizes. So that what they are trying to do is to swindle the money of Rivers people. And they should not do it because they want to get something from it. They should do it with sincerity of purpose. What we are after is that any amount of money earmarked that is outrageous and saying they are going to do it in government house, they are going to put CCTV camera in government house. Please, we don't want that. We have a lot of CCTV camera in government house.
The former Labour Party chairman also advised them to channel funds budgeted for necessary items to establish industries.
I cannot support that because we have CCTV already in government house. So why will you not put CCTV in government house? Let them be drawn in the state, monitoring every look and cranny of this state. Then we can now say it's okay. We need creation of job in River State. There is no industry recorded in this state. So why not convert that money into building industry? There are simple industries that 10 billion, 5 billion can build. So instead of using it for CCTV camera in government house, why not convert it to build industry? So House of Rep must not accept that. They must cut it down, and if they find that the thing is corruption, the people involved should be arrested.
On her part, the executive director of the Center for Transparency Advocacy, Faith Onwadiashi, said budget padding has continued in the country because of the failure of opposition parties.
So, and that's what the opposition party should actually be doing in a democracy. So if the government in power brings up a budget and say this is what they are going to use, the opposition party should actually have their own budget to show that with less amount of money we could do it better, or even more amount of money, or to argue that usually you don't have that kind of deep analysis and investigation by opposition party. The opposition would have done is to also get an expert that produces CCTV to give them a quotation. And so when you argue on that basis, people will see the alternative.
Mrs. Wandishi also spoke on the roles she expects from federal lawmakers from Rivers State.
Coming out. What if they were part of it and at the committee level they were able to say, oh, let us keep this, let's not talk about it. So you can see the wisdom behind why they were not part of the whole conversation in the first. I think what they should do is to lead the people in carrying out further investigation. But again, because people can say, oh, this was bloated. What is your evidence? Do you have a superior budget or quotation to show that what they have quoted is bloated?
Yesterday, the House of Representatives ad hoc committee on Rivers State of Emergency gave the sole administrator a 48-hour ultimatum to provide a detailed breakdown of key items contained in the 2025 appropriation bill. Among the allocations queried was a sum of 24 billion naira earmarked for the installation of CCTV cameras at the Rivers State Government House. Jaja, in an interview, said the House of Representatives should go beyond questioning some sections of the budget to scrutinizing the whole. Some stakeholders in the polity say they are disappointed at the current National Assembly, saying they have failed to meet the expectations of citizens. Speaking with correspondent Suebi Orwari, a professor of political sociology and governance studies at the University of Port Harcourt, Steve Wadu, said Nigerians have witnessed low-quality representation from the National Assembly in the last 2 years.
The quality of representation is very, very low. The issues being discussed is very, very low. Besides that, the National Assembly has not presented any qualitative discourse, no qualitative debate. Therefore, the quality of national legislative representation is very, very low. They are almost what some people regard as a rubber stamp tent assembly. No discussion, no direction, the fundamental rubrics of parliamentary system. So we don't have it.
On his part, a politician, Joe Prince-Will, said the current National Assembly members are only doing the bidding of the president.
But for the legislators at the national level, I want to say the legislative arm of government in the nation is a disaster. Whenever there are issues in the country, the legislators should be able to sit back and look at the law. This decision you want to take, this decision that has been taken by the executive, is it in line with the law? They shouldn't see legislative business as an opportunity to make money. It's supposed to bring about checks and balances in government, but we have not had that, so far. They are all businessmen waiting for whenever budget, will pass.
Mr. Prince will also accuse them of mismanaging their constituency funds.
Well, from my own findings in time past, most of the projects that were being executed by legislators in the name of constituency projects were not executed. They just collect this money. Sometimes what they do after collecting this money is that they hurriedly put together a charade, a show, and they call that constituency project. Whereas they collected this money, to execute physical infrastructure projects, and at the end of the day, these monies are being eaten. And what they give to the people in return is peanuts.
Also, the program coordinator of social action, Isaac Botti, said lawmakers have paid more attention to politics.
But what we have seen with the current dispensation, for instance, the 10th Assembly, is what I would describe as ineptitude. They have failed in their fundamental role as watchdog on the executive. What we have seen is that they have consistently support the policies and programs of the executive that are not favoring the people, all because of party and party loyalism, interest, and all of those things.
Mr. Botti, however, urged Nigerians to speak up and demand accountability from the legislators.
What we have is not people's interest or people's representation, rather political parties' representation. As fact remains that the decision lies solely on the people if they want status quo to continue. And if they do not want the status quo to continue, they use their power come 2027 to elect and vote their representative, people who will truly represent them. They live with them in the constituency, so they know those who are the money back. The culture of silence that Nigerians have embraced is worrisome.
In other news, scores of Ogoni youths today staged a protest to the Rivers State Police Command, the Department of State Services, and the Government House over alleged killings by suspected herdsmen. Leader of the protesting youths, Mr. Oscar Xavier Imeabe, expressed concern that no arrests have been made in connection with the killing of one Goodluck Dinkpa in Uwike Tai local government area. Xavier Imeabe warned that the Ogoni youths may be forced to take laws into their hands if urgent action is not taken to address their concerns.
The Rivers State government claims not to be aware of what the people of Ogoni are going through. The Nigerian government is also claiming not to be aware of the attack on the herdsmen on the people. Unfortunately, as we speak, nobody has been arrested for the killing that took place in Yoguru by the herdsmen. Nobody has been arrested for the killing that took place in Okubu and raping of our girls. Nobody has been arrested for the killing that took place and the raping that took place in Uweke in the local government. Nobody has been arrested. Nobody has also been arrested for the killing that took place in Sogo in Kano local government. What the herdsmen are claiming is that they bought a land from our people. If you bought a land, does it mean they sold that land to come and kill our people?
He also outlined other demands relating to the growing activities of suspected herdsmen in Ogoni communities.
We We, the concerned citizens of Ogoniland, are compelled to raise our voice against the growing wave of violence and insecurity perpetrated by the herdsmen within our communities. The recent attack in Yokuru, Ebubu, Soko, Weke, which have resulted in the tragic loss of our innocent lives. Communities terrorize our lands. Immediately, we demand the immediate, unconditional departure of all the herdsmen for Ogoniland. We call on the relevant authorities to take swift, decisive action to end the attacks on our communities and to prevent future occurrence. We demand justice for the victims of this brutal assault. Yes.
Responding on behalf of the River State Commissioner of Police, the Assistant Commissioner of Police in charge of operations, ACP Aiko Koro, assured the protesters that the police have already swung into action to ensure justice is served.
We are making all effort to ensure that we arrest these perpetrators. Today, there is operation going in at Agbonchia Forest. As I am talking to you, this operation is still against the killers in River State. So what I'm trying to say is that the CP is making frantic effort to ensure that we nip this problem on board. It's a menace which must be nipped on board. But police cannot do it alone without you. We urge you also to give us information. Without your information, police cannot be everywhere.
Earlier, the paramount ruler of a Ebubu community in Elemental Government Area, Emere Godwin Chinwe, said the activities of herdsmen have significantly reduced farming activities in the area. His statement comes as their cattle continue to graze on farmlands, destroying crops and other produce in the area. Speaking with our correspondent, the paramount ruler warned that if the situation persists, it could lead to a clash between community youths and the herdsmen. He said efforts by the community to address the situation have not been successful. The traditional ruler also called on security agencies and the government to intervene urgently by providing designated grazing areas to prevent further tensions. Still to come, seconders, others hold coalition talks with Atiku. Stay tuned. Back. The coordinator of the River State Response Team on Violence Against Women and Children, Mr. Tombari Domka Kote, says he's worried that many of the gender-based violence cases reported in River State in recent months involve minors. Domka Kote said this while speaking with correspondent Constance Irele Mega. He described the situation as alarming.
Rising cases of gender-based violence within the state is most disturbing as the trend in recent time is seen to be involving children who are procured as housemaids, gotten through domestic trafficking, and at a level that is no longer tolerable. The team has continued to push for justice and stronger enforcement of the laws with the support of partners to see how perpetrators are tracked and brought to justice.
Domka Kote also said delays in justice delivery remain a major challenge in the fight against sexual and gender.
This costs most of the time are transferred to families of survivors, which has also remained an impediment in bringing perpetrators to justice.
The rights advocate also said between December 2024 and June 2025, the response team recorded more than 500 cases of sexual and gender-based violence.
Between mid-December 2024 and June 2025, as a team, we recorded a total of 517 reported cases of sexual and gender-based violence. The last 2 weeks have been most worrisome. We have a total of 17 reported cases involving severe violence carried out by caregivers against children under their custody. This 17 is taken out of a total of 38 reported cases of severe and terrifying violence meted out against women and children within the state.
Mr. Domka Kote believes the creation of special courts to handle such cases would help speed up justice and encourage more survivors to speak out.
We continue to call for the creation of special courts to try issues of sexual and gender-based violence so that there will be speedy trials and justice will be served on time. Because delayed justice have contributed to the rising incident. Since there is no judgment yet, the survivors and their family get discouraged.
As you may know, Rivers State has witnessed a surge in reports of gender-based violence in recent weeks. In one case, a woman bit off the tip of her partner's sex organ during an argument. Another case involved a man who beat his female lover to death. Another involved a woman who was left hospitalized with knife cuts after being assaulted by her male partner. That is also the case of a 14-year-old student who was assaulted by her school principal and teachers after her auntie accused her of theft. Another student was reportedly flogged over 100 strokes by her school principal for reporting a sexual assault incident to her parents. These cases have triggered public outrage and are currently under police investigation. The secretary to the state government, Professor Ibibi Awarika, says he's happy at the discipline exhibited throughout the orientation calls by the corps members posted to Rivers State. Professor Awarika said this during the closing ceremony of 2025 Batch A Stream 2 orientation course for corps members deployed to the state at the NYSC Permanent Orientation Camp, Noagbam, in Thai local government area. The SSG, who represented the state administrator, retired Vice Admiral Ibokete Ibas, also urged corps members to demonstrate utmost commitment in service to their host communities. Former national chairman of the People's Democratic Party, Prince Uche Secondus, today joined other chieftains of the party in a meeting with former Vice President Atiku Abubakar. The meeting held in Abuja is to determine whether the PDP leaders will fully integrate into the proposed 2027 coalition party or maintain their positions within the party while forming an electoral alliance. Other PDP chieftains present at the meeting include a former governor of Sokoto State and current Senator Aminu Tambuwal, former governor of Cross River State Liel Imoke, former governor of Niger State Babangida Aliyu, and the former governor of Ebonyi State Sam Egu. The meeting, which was presided over by former Senate President David Mark, focused on determining whether the PDP leaders will fully integrate into the proposed 2027 coalition party or maintain their positions within the party while forming an electoral alliance. The government of St. Lucia has conferred one of its highest national honors, the Knight Commander of the Order of St. Lucia, on President Bola Tinubu. The announcement was made on the official X handle of the Office of the Prime Minister of St. Lucia. The honor comes shortly after President Tinubu approved a visa waiver for holders of diplomatic and official passports from member states of the Organization of Eastern Caribbean States, allowing easier travel access to Nigeria. On the international scene, doctors in Gaza have warned that thousands of babies could die as baby formula supplies run dry under Israel's blockade. At least 95 Palestinians were killed in Israel's attacks throughout Gaza, including more than a dozen desperate people seeking food at U.S. Israel-backed aid distribution sites. In the deadliest single strike of the day, Israeli fighter jets bombed an internet cafe with a children's birthday party underway, killing at least 39 people. A senior Hamas official told Al Jazeera that they are determined to seek a ceasefire that will save the people, but that Israel is sabotaging the negotiations. On the news this evening, you heard stakeholders are reacting as House of Reps demands more explanation on Rivers' emergency budget. Ogoni youths today protested the alleged herdsmen killing. Former national chairman of the PDP, Prince Uche Secondus, and other PDP chieftains today held a meeting with former Vice President Atiku Abubakar on a coalition. On the foreign scene, Gaza doctors have raised alarm over baby deaths amid blockade. The news was edited by Onyeka Chinwosu. To reach the news team, send an SMS or WhatsApp to 0808 721 7215. I'm Sam Chinedu. Thanks for listening.